Hello and welcome to this history tutorial on Drake's raid on Cadiz and the launch of the Spanish Armada. This is for Edexcel GCSE History Elizabethan England. Today we will cover the daring raid on Cadiz undertaken by Drake and look at the reasons why Philip II launched the Spanish Armada in 1588. By 1585 it was clear that relations between Spain and England were at an all-time low, and Elizabeth decided to use the time from the signing of the Treaty of Nonsuch and the sailing of the Spanish Armada in 1588 to strengthen England's defences. Every county was ordered to provide soldiers to defend the coast. Warning beacons were set up. Trading ships were converted to fighting ships. Drake was sent on an expedition to attack Spanish colonies in the West Indies. He returned with £30,000. When Elizabeth heard the news that Philip II was assembling a large fleet in 1587, Sir Francis Drake convinced her that the best form of defence was attack. This led to an event known as the singeing of the King of Spain's beard. In April 1587, with a small but carefully selected group of ships, Drake set sail to weaken Spain's preparations for war. In a daring raid, he sailed into Cadiz harbour in Spain, avoiding its forts and guns and inflicting heavy damage on the Spanish ships anchored there. In total, he destroyed 30 Spanish ships and a great deal of the fleet's provisions, including the barrels which would be used to store food. The raid on Cadiz took place over the course of 3 days and is known in England as the singeing of the King of Spain's beard. After the raid on Cadiz, Drake then spent several weeks attacking the coast of Portugal before heading to the Azores. Here he captured a Spanish treasure ship, the San Felipe, and returned home to England with £114,000. The disruption Drake caused did not stop the Armada, but it was delayed by a year. This bought England more time to prepare. Not only that, but Drake's actions had left the Spanish admirals in confusion and dread. The singeing of the King's beard and Drake's subsequent attacks on the Azores shows us one of the reasons why Philip had taken the decision in 1585 to launch an attack on England in the form of the Spanish Armada. Provocation. Sir Francis Drake had been the source of irritation to Philip for years. His continued raids and attacks in the New World, where he had stolen Spanish treasures, caused a great deal of anger for Philip II, and Elizabeth's public support of Drake through knighting him in 1580 were seen as clear acts of provocation. If you add to that Elizabeth's support for Dutch Protestant rebels in the Netherlands against Spanish rule, it is obvious that one of the reasons for the launch of the Armada is due to the actions Elizabeth sanctioned and took. The signing of the Treaty of Nonsuch in 1585 effectively put Spain and England at war over the Netherlands, so Philip took the decision to launch the Armada as he saw England as being a useful addition to his vast empire. When you look at the timing of the Armada, it highlights the fact that Philip II and Spain were in a very strong position and were likely to be victorious in any conflict with England. Spain had acquired Portugal in 1580, and the Duke of Parma in the Netherlands was comprehensively winning the battle with the English troops there. All of this suggested to Philip that it was the right time to launch a full-scale attack on England so that he could add that prize to his empire. It is also important to remember that one of Philip's motivations was religion. Philip was a devout Catholic, and he believed that Catholicism was the one true religion. He saw Protestantism as heresy, and he was determined to remove Protestantism from Europe and restore Catholicism. The Pope had given support to Philip's plans to launch the Armada as he wanted action to be taken against Elizabeth and England since her excommunication in 1570. The Pope had even promised to forgive the sins of all those involved in the Spanish Armada and offered Philip a handsome reward if he were to successfully invade England. In summary, Philip's decision to launch the Spanish Armada occurred due to a variety of reasons. Religion was a long-term motivation, as he had had a keen desire to restore Catholicism across Europe. However, politics and provocation were likely more significant reasons for the launch of the Armada. The actions of English privateers, such as Sir Francis Drake, were a constant irritation to Philip, and the fact that Elizabeth endorsed these actions meant that Philip saw this as a direct challenge to his dominance and the position of Spain as the most powerful nation in the world. Elizabeth's continued support to the Dutch Protestant rebels in the Netherlands was also a source of irritation, as Philip viewed this as Elizabeth getting involved in a situation which had nothing to do with her. The signing of the Treaty of Nonsuch in 1585 placed Spain and England at war was a likely trigger. Philip knew that the only way to deal with England was to launch an invasion. When it was clear to Elizabeth that Philip planned to attack England in 1587, Drake was tasked with launching a raid on Cadiz, where some of the fleet were anchored. This decision helped England greatly as Drake's actions delayed the Armada by 1 year, which gave England time to prepare for the coming conflict. To get further help, visit history.outwood.com, see your teacher in school, or check out quiz.outwood.com for those sweet revision quizzes. You can also follow the Outwood Humanities team on Twitter @OGATHumanities. Until next time, that was a little bit of history.